So let's talk today about persistence in your fitness program, your nutrition lifestyle program. Um, that's a key stumbling block for a lot of people. They start something and then they finish. And part of the reason that a lot of people stop when it comes to a new workout program or a new eating program is because in the short term they feel crappier, they feel worse, they're more sore. A lot of people foolishly expect that as soon as they start a new fitness program, they're going to feel better. As soon as they start yoga, they think they're going to feel better. Their pain's just going to go away. As soon as they start a new diet, they're going to feel better. It usually doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way at all. I remember when I was younger, 2002, I started yoga. Didn't want to start yoga, but I had so much pain. I had a titanium plate in my neck, C6, C7 level, very serious injury. Had a lot of shooting pains down the arms and my hands for years. Didn't want to take prescription drugs. I was willing to try anything. So I tried yoga. At that time, there were maybe 2 to 3 guys in the class, per class. There were hardly any guys in there. Nowadays, you see a lot of guys, and they're in there, and a lot of them are looking to meet women and that sort of thing. But when I first started yoga, the first thing I noticed is that in the first couple weeks, I did not see improvement. In fact, I was more sore. It sort of agitated the injury. So if I had went in there expecting to heal and to feel this dramatic improvement in the short term, it never would have worked. I never would have stuck with yoga. Yoga was fantastic. All that extra stretching is fantastic to loosen up the muscles, to relax the tissues. Fantastic, because a lot of pain and inflammation is tied to your tightness in your body. So you have to loosen that up. And I've seen that with so many people in yoga, so many people who had back pain, they had neck pain. The relief is not usually instantaneous. In fact, I don't know anybody who got relief right off the bat. Everybody that I know, it took time. It usually takes weeks until you start loosening things up and you start saying, hey, this yoga thing is working. So the same thing with the diet. I know people that have they're used to, you have to remember, we live in a country of sugar addicts. All right, 99.9% of people in America are sugar addicts. They're sugar, you're talking 100, 120, 150 pounds a year. Most people, 120 to 150 pounds a year of added sugar. That doesn't include sugar from carbs. That doesn't include sugar from natural fruit sugar from fruit. That's just added sugar. So when you think of that, it means people have trained their body to run off of sugar. Now, when you change anything, it's just like a drug addict. If you're a sugar addict or you're a drug addict, if you take away someone's drug, you could take away heroin from someone, you could take meth away from them, you could take oxycodone, you could take the crappiest poison. People are addicted to a poison, drugs. You take that away from them, what happens? Their body, they're hating life. Their body is hating life. Their body is going to come at them hardcore and say, you better give me that drug. So what am I saying? I'm saying you can't base the effectiveness or the quality of a nutrition program or a fitness program based on the first couple of weeks. Because if we were basing it on, oh, my body is resisting this, my body is fighting this, my body doesn't like a higher fat content, my body has been shutting down, I'm agitated, I don't feel energy. Yeah, and if you were a heroin addict and you took away heroin, you'd probably feel the same way. You'd feel really crappy too. It doesn't mean you should continue doing heroin. So you have to prepare yourself for that. If you're a sugar addict and your body's used to run off of sugar, when you start asking it to run off of healthier food or higher fat, high quality, higher fat, you can expect whatever the keto flu, you can expect to feel crappier in the short term. Just like if you're in a lot of pain and you do yoga, you're going to probably feel more sore and crappier in the short term. You're not going to have instant relief. And if you've never run a marathon and you go to train for a marathon, when you first start going to train for a marathon, it's going to suck. Randy Couture had been fighting for years. When he was 46, he unretired. He decided said, hey, I'm going to leave retirement. I'm going to go fight 33-year-old Tim Sylvia, who was a lot bigger than him. And so Randy went back into training. He got back in the gym. He said, Frank, the first 6 weeks sucked so bad. He was getting, his training partners were destroying him the first 6 weeks. It sucked. Does that mean that he wasn't doing the right things? Does that mean, oh, my training program doesn't work, it sucks, I'm so out of shape? He won the title. He was the old, came back at 46 years old, dominated Tim Sylvia, just jaws dropped when he won that fight. People couldn't believe it. But the first 6 weeks sucked. And he was on the right path. It was just he had to get his body used to that training again. Those of you who've been eating crap your whole life, once you start eating a higher quality food, guess what? Your body's used to running off crap. You really think you're going to wave a magic wand and just feel great? Not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It never surprises me. Anytime you make big changes in your life and you're going to improve, you can expect to take 100 steps back to take 1,000 forward. You should expect that. And that's going to test your great changes are going to test your persistence, and they're going to test your faith, and they're going to test your hope, and they're going to test your heart. And if you're ready to quit, I mean, I had one athlete put him on higher fat, and after a couple weeks, well, he's feeling great, and then later he said, "Oh, I felt like I hit the wall, and that diet had me feeling so tired." I'm thinking, yeah, because you're a sugar addict. If you that is not, for the vast majority of people, being a sugar addict, it's not a good way to go. It's going to catch up to most people eventually. So what I want to encourage you to do, you're going to have your short-term goals, but you're going to want to always think the long term is more important, whether you're investing money, whether you're making nutrition goals, whether you're an Olympic athlete. Olympic athletes think in quadrennials. They think in 4-year cycles. They actually try to plan out that far. Business people, investors think in 3 to 5 year cycles. You've got to start thinking out. It is a marathon, not a sprint. And so if you look at statistics, I think it's something like in the first couple of weeks, 30% or so of people who start a fitness program or a nutrition program will abandon it. And then within 7 or 8 months, it's like 70-some%, and within 2 years, it's 90-some% will abandon the program and just quit. That's an astonishing number. So it's not a question of, if you have someone like me telling you certain things that have worked. I mean, a lot of these things will work. They're fairly universal principles. If they're not working, it's your own weakness of will, it's your own lack of discipline, it's your own lack of faith, it's your lack of patience. You got to get control of yourself. When I fast and other people fast, fasting is not just about autophagy and let's recycle and get rid of the gook and detoxify. It's not just that. It's also your mind's way of telling your body, I'm the boss. I'm the boss. We do it's your mind and your spirit telling your body, hey, I'm the commander in chief. We do what I say we do. It is your mind and your spirit exercising its dominion over your body. Fasting, so that the spiritual people have it right. Fasting is not just about health and wellness. It is much deeper than that. It is about spirituality. It is about empowerment. It is about mind clarity. And it's the same thing. If you went on the short term, what happens when people fast, when they do it properly? When people properly fast, what happens? The first day sucks. Sometimes the first 2 days suck. And then they hit a groove and they have more mind clarity. And they have more energy. And there's a lot of awakenings that can happen for people. And then longer term, if they do that fasting and they do it properly, they detoxify, they feel better, they're more resilient to diseases, etc. It's a long-term picture. In the short term, it's like getting in a bath full of cold water. When you first get in that cold water, it sucks. And then when you level into there and you're in the water for a minute, 2 minutes, you level in, your brain adapts, your body adapts, and the next thing you know, the water's not cold anymore. And then the next thing you know, the next day you have less soreness and less lactic acid. So I'm really encouraging people to think in a longer term. Same thing with jiu-jitsu. Most people start jiu-jitsu, especially if you're an adult and you've never trained jiu-jitsu. You can expect to be sore. You can expect it's gonna suck the first couple of weeks. Your body's getting used to that. All right? People have to learn to stick with things. Don't say, well, this nutrition program doesn't work for me because I feel like I'm dragging. Well, you're dragging because your body's used to crap. Your body's addicted to crap. And it's going to take time to change that and adapt that. And a carb is a de facto sugar too. By the way, a carb is a de facto sugar. So a lot of you are pounding up, French fries and rice and pizzas and this and that. It's a de facto sugar on top of the 120, 150 pounds Americans are averaging in added sugar. So we have a tremendous sugar addiction here going. It's going to suck. You're going to have to be resilient. It's going to take you years. It's not going to take you months. It's not going to take you weeks. It's going to take most of you years to reverse your sugar addiction. And you got to take a long-term view. And you got to learn to exercise a lot of patience and a lot of faith in the process on the way to the best you.